Hi, I'm Bo Huffman from the Hastings and Kearney GNCs. We're here to help you live well each and every day. So whether you're looking for a good quality multiple vitamin for the family, a fish oil for your overall health and wellness needs, to sports nutrition, weight loss, whatever your goal, we're here to help you live well each and every day.
Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Hub, brought to you by GNC. I'm your host, Connor O'Gara, joined by Nathan Hart. Nathan, what a weekend it was for the Bearcats. They get a playoff-clinching win against Lincoln North Star, go on the road to do it. This is a team that was 1-4, and now they're 4-4 going into their season finale against North Platte and looking to improve that seeding.
Yeah, they went into Lincoln, got just the win they needed, but they still have one game left on their schedule against a winless North Platte team. It'll be senior night for Kearney, and they still have a little bit left to play for. With some help from some other teams, they could slide. They're right now at 16th in the wildcard standings. They could move up to 12th. Other teams would have to lose a few games, but they may avoid a top one, top two team in the first round. So Kearney has a little bit to play for, and when you play a winless team like North Platte, you probably want to build a big lead early on, not let the Bulldogs stick around at all, maybe get the subs in for the fourth quarter, play a clean game, no injuries. Those are probably the big goals this week. Maybe one area where you want to look at is special teams. Kearney scored two big touchdowns early in the game against Lincoln North Star, but then gave up long kickoff returns after both of those touchdowns. So if they could clean up their kickoff coverage this week, that would set them up well for their first-round playoff game the following week.
I'm sure there's not too many teams that want to face the Bearcats right now, potentially coming into the playoffs with a 4-game winning streak. So Bearcats are going to look to continue to build on what they've already done in the second half of the season.
They're playing well right now, yeah.
Really well. Kearney Catholic is going to finish its regular season with a big showdown against Gothenburg. Gothenburg, a much improved team from last year. And for the Stars, this game is going to be about getting back on track kind of offensively. Second half has not been too kind to the Stars lately as far as scoring touchdowns. They haven't scored a touchdown in the second half in the last two games. They were able to get a big 23-14 win against Chase County last week, but that was because of 3 Grant Bushcutter field goals. So the offense is going to look to get some of that momentum back in this game. They have such a balanced attack with Thomas Connely at tailback, John Masker at quarterback. We talk about it every week, but really there are a few teams in this area that have the balance that the Stars do, and they really want to establish that this week against Gothenburg. Gothenburg's a team that's lost 2 games to 2 very good C1 teams, and they would love nothing more than to get a big win in their regular season finale going into the playoffs and improve that seeding. That's what this game is all about for the Stars. Both of these teams have clinched playoff berths, but they really need to move up and get that easier first-round game. Stars are definitely going to look to continue the defensive prowess they've had in the last few weeks too. They've really stepped up and got off the field when they've needed to most, and they've gotten some of those big third down stops to prevent teams from getting in the red zone. So Stars are going to look to also get that offense going against Gothenburg defense, allowing 11 points a game. Big end of the season test for the Stars going into the playoffs. So a lot of things to watch for this weekend for Kearney Catholic.
Another good Thursday night game we have going this week is Anselmo-Merna versus Elwood. Both teams are solidly in the D2 playoff field at 13th and 14th in the standings. Both teams are 5-2. For Anselmo-Merna, they got off to a quick start this season, 5-0, and have dropped their last 2 games. So they'll be looking to get back on track before playoffs start. They're led by Troy Gilligan, their quarterback, who's closing in on 1,000 yards rushing and passing. He will likely hit both those marks in this game. And they'll face Elwood. The Pirates are led by dual-threat quarterback Zach Hackbart. And Jacob Schminkel, their running back, he has double-digit touchdowns on the season. A good offensive team, a high-scoring team. They put up some high numbers this year in a few games. So this will be a good kind of playoff tune-up for both teams before the D2 playoffs start.
Another big Thursday night showdown is going to be Alma at Overton. Alma is 4-3 right now, potentially have a playoff spot. But you never know with the way that things shake out in that regular season finale. They're probably in with, considering the fact that they're facing an undefeated Overton squad, and it's going to be a really big test for Alma. They're coming off of a 2-game losing streak right now, and they just want to get back on track. They've had such a tough end to their schedule. We talked about it a couple weeks ago, facing Arapahoe, facing Elm Creek, and then to face Overton in the finale. That is a really, really tough test for them, but also a good test for the playoffs. So they're going to look to get back on track. Overton is going to look to close out the season undefeated. This is kind of a group that last year wasn't necessarily in this tier. They're a 5-win team last year, lost in the first round of the playoffs, but just so much talent on this team coming back. I talked to Paul Husenfeld a couple weeks ago, and he was so confident in his group. I don't think I had ever seen a coach, a high school coach, as confident as he was in his group going into a game against an undefeated team the way that he was. But it's easy to be confident when you have a tailback like Hayden Cahoy. He's got 22 touchdowns on the ground this season. He might even approach the mark that Luke Glenn set last year, 36 touchdowns, of course, the Shelton back. So behind that really, really talented tailback, really experienced offensive line, this team is capable of finishing the regular season undefeated and going to look to continue rolling and get an even higher seed in the playoffs. Overton could be looking at a top 3 seed right now in D1, so they definitely have something to play for this weekend. And the Huskers are back after a bye week. They will take on Minnesota this Saturday at 11 a.m. on ESPN. They will potentially be getting back their senior starting quarterback, Taylor Martinez, who, of course, has been out since that September 14th injury in the loss against UCLA. He practiced for the first time this past Sunday since that game. So Huskers potentially getting their starter back, and they kind of need him.
Yeah, the past few weeks, Tommy Armstrong, Ron Kellogg, they've done fine, but it's become clear that Taylor Martinez, the senior leader, a healthy Martinez is the best option for the Huskers to close out this year, to set themselves up well in Big Ten and in the postseason.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. We were looking at this game a little while ago saying that maybe this is a game that you look ahead with Northwestern, of course, next on the schedule. But now it appears that Minnesota could be that trap game and more of a test than Northwestern, considering Northwestern is actually lost to the Gophers last week. That game was in Evanston. So Minnesota didn't get off to the best start in Big Ten play, but they have some momentum right now, and they're not necessarily afraid of some of those better teams in the Big Ten. So this will be a test for the Huskers. Could be a close one. Our friend Bo at GNC definitely thinks it's going to be a close one this week. He has our Muscle Man Pick of the Week.
Well, here we are again, back at the GNC store, back for the pick of the week. We're playing the Golden Gophers. They had a pretty good week this last weekend, but we had our off and bye week, so hopefully we're a little bit better prepared. They're going to dig in hard, but I think we're still going to come out of Minnesota with a victory, probably about 38 to about 24. That's what I'm picking for this week. So come on and see us at the Hastings and Kearney GNCs if we can help you live well each and every day.
Lopers will travel to Missouri this weekend to take on Southwest Baptist. UNK is, of course, coming off of a 24-14 victory against Lincoln University, and that was led by Tyler McKeone, the third Loper to start at quarterback this season. A little bit of a similar situation that we saw last year.
Yeah, I would not want to be a UNK quarterback. You will probably get hurt.
Yeah, that's just kind of the rule of thumb, the way it's been the past 2 years, but Loper's potentially getting Luke McNitt back. He was dealing with a hamstring injury last week. Maybe could have played in that game. You don't really know. Darryl Morris wanted to hold him out of that one.
And then maybe Bronson Marsh, the original starter, could be healthy next week as well.
And whoever's starting at quarterback, Darryl Morris has kind of made it clear he likes the heavy set offense. He likes being able to just run the ball all game. They've kind of developed into this system as the season's progressed, and they're going to do it against a defense that is not very good against the run. They are allowing 47 points a game. Southwest Baptist is. So Lopers are going to look to get it going on the ground, look to control that time of possession.
Yeah, Morris said he likes to wear them out in the second half or in the first half and then take the lead in the second half with that run game.
So Lopers are definitely going to look to get a third win in the MIAA. They had such a tough schedule to start the season, but now that we're seeing what they can do when they face some of these lower tier MIAA teams. So big weekend for the Lopers, big weekend for the Huskers, and for all high school football teams playing in the regular season finale. Can you believe it's the regular season finale?
This football season goes so fast.
I'm blown away with how quick it is, but we will have all your playoff action next week. Your coverage is actually, all of our coverage is, most of our coverage I should say, is going to be on Thursday. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, at CJ O'Gara, at NMHart, at HubSports_Buck. Also give our Hub Sports blog a follow, that's at Hub Sports Blog. And make sure you're going to the Kearney Hub website, that's kearneyhub.com/local sports for all your coverage on Thursday nights. For Connell O'Gara, Nathan Hart, this has been the Sports Hub. Thanks guys, we'll see you next week.